There's a new one,
Hello.
Bigfoot fans.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, for tonight, we had uh
So,
we had John Stansko. Stansko. Sorry, John. I apologize. And Scott is sick. So Bruce actually got and talked to Jessica, the Cryptid Huntress. So she's gonna be on now. She's gonna be on in a little bit. She's just a little bit late. So let's go ahead and oh, and next week. I'm trying to be better about this. Next week we have Roger Williams. And he's gosh,
from Squatch and Holler, ain't it?
Watch and Holler. That's right. Okay, I didn't want to butcher it. So no worries. I'm
No, I
glad.
like Roger. He's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, yeah, he is. He is. Hey, I see Bruce here, so let's grab him. Hey,
Okay,
Bruce.
now, there's Bruce. Hi,
Hey,
brother.
Yeah.
Bruce.
What's up?
Hey, how's everything going?
You
All
saved our
right.
butt. It was just going to be the three of us.
Yeah. Cryptid
Yes.
Hunter to be on just a few. She was doing some business and she's gonna jump
Yeah,
on with us.
Cool.
cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
So,
Shit.
any big weekend or I guess week plans that you've had any more new encounters on, Bruce?
Uh no, I've been watching some at a
Yeah.
dumpster, but
Really?
I've had watching them last 2 or 3 nights, but had some good encounters there.
Now, is this where you live? Or
Yeah,
is this
about an hour from me.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah,
Mm.
not too
Was it
fast. Or
like a
too
fast
far.
food restaurant dumpster, Bruce? Or
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
a dumpster at a community center that's for that end of
oh
the
well,
county and
Mm.
yeah.
behind a chain link fence. It's 7, 8, 10 dumpsters in there. I can't remember exactly.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's a
they
buffet.
got like a buffet there.
Yeah, yep. But
Excellent.
I'll tell you about one happened to me back. I'm gonna say a couple years ago,
Cool.
and till Jessica jumps on.
Gotcha.
I I like to dry land fish of a spring, and I generally start for the big white ones about April the 7th every spring. And I was hunting on 3 farms that are together about 1,800 acres of land, and I'd went up there the night before and set me up a camping spot, and I stopped by one of the farmers' homes there and let them know I'd be back there because I always get my drowned land fish and I split it with all of them. And farmer's wife give me an onion bag. She said, put them mushrooms in that onion bag, that dry land fish is what we call, and the spores will drop out and create more mushrooms.
Wow.
So I went up there backside of the farm there, went over a little knoll, found me a flat spot, took me a concrete rake I had in the truck, raked me out a big old spot, uh, loosened the ground up real good. That way, when I laid down at night under the tent, I wouldn't feel every root and rock.
Wow.
And then I
Dang.
raked all them leaves back and made me a fire pit. And this was just a few minutes before dark. Well, as I was gathering them rocks, I found some mushrooms, some dry land fish. So I had about 3/4 of a pound in this onion bag. And I went ahead and I got my fire pit done and built my fire. I had brought my gear with me, my backpack and a few snacks, stuff to eat on, some drinks. Put them in the tent. Well, I was so anxious to go to hunting that early in the morning, I just forgot to. I didn't forget, I just couldn't sleep. So I cut my little transistor radio on I had, and I let it play. And about 1:10 of the morning, about 10 minutes after 1 in the morning, I was still up, excited to go mushroom hunting the next morning. And I heard a big footstep outside of my tent. And then in the way off in the distance, I could hear a couple of whoops. So I pretty well knew what it was, but wasn't worried about it.
Yeah.
And then I reached and unzipped I'd gotten my tent by then. I reached and unzipped my first flap there, and zipped the screen part back where I just had the screen where I could look out towards the fire. And on the back side of my tent, I had another little zipper. When you unzipped it, it had a screen and a window there. I didn't have any windows on each side of my tent. So I was laying there, and I could hear every now and then feel that step outside my tent. And then I heard another loud whoop against my tent. So it took 20 minutes for it to go around my tent. It'd make a step and stand there a while. When it got directly in front of my tent, where I just had the screen open, it casted a shadow and I could see what it was. It was a Bigfoot. And he made another round. Took him another 20 or 25 minutes to go around it. Well, about that time, it was probably close to 2 o'clock, right at 2 o'clock. The radio went to a commercial break, a commentary. When it did, the guy on the radio was talking, and Bigfoot, he just walked off. So the next morning when I got up, I went to the truck, which was just a few yards from me. I was just right under a little knoll in a flat spot, and the truck was sitting up. I couldn't see the truck. If I got out of the tent and walked that way 15 or 20 feet, I could see the top of it.
Wow.
And I didn't have nothing on me but my pocket knife, what I was using to cut the mushroom stems.
Mm.
So went to the truck and I got my long gun, which is a shotgun. And I got my machete out and I hooked it on my belt. Went back down to the tent. I ate a little stuff, got ready. Went around to the right side of the tent, around just a little, if you could even call it a point. I could still see the tent behind me. So I started finding mushrooms, and I had my own little laundry bag there too, and I'd left other mushrooms in the tent in that onion sack. And I was doing pretty good on the mushroom hunt. Well, something caught my attention, and I happened to come back around that little point a little bit and found more mushrooms and turned back around. And when I looked back at my tent was just ripped all to pieces. My camp was destroyed.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And this happened in broad daylight. So I decided, well, me go find out what's going on. I went around there and got to the tent. There's these massive footprints all the way around my tent, where my tent was, the whole 9 yards, and it just shredded my tent. And my favorite backpack had shredded it too. So I was gathering all my stuff up. But what was left of my tent was just shreds. It wasn't no count. So, but my poles, my fiberglass poles to put it together was. So I sat there and took them all apart, putting them back in their bag. And I rolled up the torn up sheets of tent and stuffing them in the bag. And I found my coffee pot, which is a percolator, the old Camping Blue style.
Oh yeah.
It was mashed flat.
Oh, God.
So as I was doing that and got all my stuff together, I realized the bag of onions was gone. The bag that the bag of onions that held my dry land fish, it was gone. So after going in inventory and everything I had, the only thing missing was those dry land fish in that bag of that onions come in.
Yeah.
And so I figured that's what they was wanting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and those percolator coffee makers, those are pretty tough inside, aren't they?
Yes.
Aren't
Yes.
they pretty good, solid steel, I guess is
Yeah,
what
I
it would
Yes.
got
be.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're handy. I use them, and my mama taught me a trick on them. Keep pouring when you pour a cup of coffee out of them, keep the coffee grounds from coming into your cup.
Yeah.
So you just take a little bottle of water, put a couple tablespoons of water out of that bottle in there, and wait a minute, and all them coffee grounds will float to the bottom.
Oh gosh.
Huh.
Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. What percentage do you think Bigfoot and Dogman are? How much of a food source is mushrooms to them? Is that just one of the many things, or is that one of the certain things that would only come out in certain parts of the year that they would look for it?
Yeah. They only come out certain parts of the year, early spring. That particular night, we were supposed to have frost, and I wanted to make sure I got up early enough in the morning and got them, harvest as many as I could. 'Cause that frost hits them, it'll dry them up, ruin them.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
that's crazy.
but I wasn't thinking when I heard them outside my tent that night. I should have pitched that uh, bag of dry land fish out of the tent, and because that time of year, everything's foraging on them. Even turkeys will get into them. A lot of
Oh,
people
yeah.
don't know that. Turkey will
Holy
scratch
smokes.
on them and eat them.
No kidding.
That they're the bugs that get in them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeez. Let's see. Well, we've got a lot of people in chat tonight.
Yep.
Ryan
I don't know
comes
if
from Florida.
dogmen eat them, but I've heard them. Like I had my last recent encounter was when I was mushroom hunting. I think it's just watching me, but then I think Martin Groves said that he had an occurrence where him and somebody were mushroom hunting, and Bigfoot didn't like him mushroom hunting in that woods.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it got out of there.
Yeah.
I know they eat them, but I don't know if Dogman is like if he'll eat vegetables and stuff like that or berries.
Yeah.
Well, you
But
said you had an encounter while was you mushroom hunting or?
Yeah.
yeah, my most recent encounter, I was mushroom hunting, and I just got that again like I did before, and looked back behind me, and I seen one. He is peeking over a giant grapevine. It like wide out the tree,
Right.
and he was standing there watching me. He was probably about 50, 60 yards away, but this one looked totally different than the first one I seen. And it's only 40 miles difference between here and where I had my first one, but this one looked completely different than the other one.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. A lot of them, they have those different characteristics about them that you know two exactly the same, but they look the same. The same way with Bigfoot. Bigfoot,
Oh, yeah.
the face will be a little bit different. The jaw might be a bit longer and more profound. The next one might be a flat face like an Asian person.
Yeah.
Uh,
So it's
I call,
like you had said, just a certain family of humans,
right,
hybrids.
r-
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And you got the dog men will come with long snouts, short snouts, flat faced.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll be multicolored.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll be the buckskin colored, like a mountain lion or something.
That's cool.
Sometimes they'll be spotted on one side, like a Appaloosa horse.
Yeah.
You know.
Beautiful. That would be awesome. So
But yeah,
Ryan knows us. I've known him for many years,
Oh, okay.
and he is incredible. I would love to have him on here soon too. Scientifically speaking, Dogman would be an omnivore, hunting physically
They
would
probably
take a
eat that and
amount of
meat.
yeah
yep,
amount of vital energy. Yeah, that's
yep.
good point.
That makes sense.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. No,
that's like,
he's I've known him for years, and he is always at the top of his game on when it comes to cryptids. Yeah, he's pretty good. So
Yeah, I would say they would eat probably about anything in the woods when it comes to surviving.
yeah,
yeah,
So,
yeah,
that's like
dry
most of your
land.
primates that
Yeah.
they're foragers and stuff too. But if the opportunity arises and they can have meat, they'll eat it.
Oh
oh
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
They kill
yeah,
other clans of monkeys and stuff and eat them.
yeah, yeah. That's true. I have heard that. Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, so oh, this is another one of the things he had said. He's talking to Dave. Have you tried comparing it to known animals in the area first? It's a good question. Good question. Let's see. All right, we're good.
Oh,
Um, Bruce, you're a star of the show.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No. I just mean that as in like my brain's not working, and
uh,
so I'm stumbling around here for questions and whatnot. So
to answer Ryan's question,
yeah,
when I seen my two dogmen, you know, the only thing that even close to resemble that and would be upright would be a bear, and there's no bear in our area,
Yeah.
and
Well, they won't.
and yeah,
Bear
they
won't
won't
go
walk
very
around on
far
their
on
hind
the
leg.
right. They don't.
Uh,
They won't go far on their hind legs. They mostly raise up when they're alerted on their hind legs and look around.
jeez,
The dog man will actually take off running on his hind legs.
wow,
You know.
I have heard
yep,
that. I have,
Yep.
yep.
and I know
So
Ryan's had an encounter with a dogman out in I think he was in Arizona. Is it Arizona? Yeah, I think he's in Arizona, I think. So, but yeah, no, he's deep dived into a lot of stuff. But there was something the other day that you and Jessica were talking about that I was gonna wait to see when she came on.
Oh,
God, anyways, now that I can't find it, yeah. Oh, he was in Arizona, and it was the hyena type.
you saw
So,
oh
the hyena type in Arizona,
yep.
he said.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah, good.
the shorter
Let's see.
hair. Is that what he was talking about? Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, and
I think it was.
they'd have shorter hair and a shorter muzzle
Right. Right. Short
or
ears or
defined
roast.
jaw.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Ones I mostly deal with up here in the Cumberland Mountains and Appalachia. The dog men, they're generally long eared and flop eared.
yeah.
Their ears are
Huh.
floppy. Looks like a dog. One ear might stand straight up, and the other one flop over.
No
Huh.
kidding.
Yeah.
My gosh,
Yeah.
that's such a weird characteristic too, though.
Yeah, it is.
But
But
Let's
Yeah.
see.
The last one I seen, he had pointed ears but shorter hair, and his muzzle wasn't as defined. It was defined, but he didn't seem as massive as the first one I seen. And the second one I seen, he reminded me more of Anubis than the first one I seen. He looked like had the lion's mane and the big snout.
Right.
He,
Oh yeah, that's right.
but the
That's what I was-
second one, he's more like Anubis looking than the first one.
Yeah.
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 The old people here in Appalachia, the older generations, they called them lions. You know, nobody knew of them as dog man. A lot of the people knew of them as werewolf for years, but the people in the Appalachian Mountain called them lions because of that heavy mane.
Yeah.
And if you seen one, it was a bad omen. Something was going to happen, but they wouldn't speak about it for 3 days and then wait till after lunch, till 1 o'clock on the third evening to talk about it, because they said if you talked about it by then, it would come true. So they had their superstitious ways.
Yeah. Jeez. So completely
The
different from
Appalachians are
around
funny.
us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're set in their ways.
Hyena looking ones are called Shunka Warkin, I believe it is. I have heard that.
Snucka
You see that,
working.
Bruce? According
Yeah.
to Native Americans, the hyena looking ones are called Shunka Warkin. Warkin.
Yeah, the Shunka. Yeah.
Working.
Shunkas.
The Shunka. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
they
Is there any other the
I'll
chief?
go with
Any other parts that you've seen? Oh, how many parts? I mean, if you were to say how many dogmen that were each different, within characteristics of the the shorter face or the longer nose or Bigfoot too, is there a roundabout number where you would just say, okay, I remember seeing this one, and just kind of either you've seen 5 or 6, or you've seen probably 100 or more. So
no two are exactly the same.
no, two. Okay. Cool to hear,
Yeah.
man. I love it. That's good.
Yeah. And that's both the dog man and the Bigfoot. No two are exactly the same. They'll have a difference about them, different faces, different personalities, different looks. Some of them will get to 1,100, 1,200 pounds, or about 4 foot thick in the chest, from the chest to the back. You'll see some that are thinner, that are more like us, and about our height, that are more flat placed, Bigfoot. And then you'll see the dog man, 400 or 500 pound range is what you'd call normal, but it's not unnormal to see one up to 800, 850 pounds, 900 pounds, somewhere in there. You'll see a little bit difference in the arms. I call them arms because most of them, that's what I've run into, exactly what it is. It's a human arm with the extremely long fingers. Instead of claws, they have fingernails, just like we do. But they're curled. Yeah.
Curled, huh?
Yeah, they're curled, and they can retract them. The dog man puppy I picked up, that's the way his was. He when I set him back up on the vine, he had hands just like we did, but the top of him were covered with what you couldn't even call hair. It was fuzz. He was just a pup. But when I put him up there, his fingernails retracted out, and he grabbed that vine and started slowly going back up the vine.
Jeez, that's incredible. It's so many things like this that we try to think of that are so broad spectrum that, you know, it could be what they're eating versus, you know, dens or whatnot. It's interesting to see all the different types. I don't even know how to say it. Um, the different types, and I need to stop watching that while I'm talking. Things could just keep popping up. I'm not used to having them come on that fast.
I think
But the different sizes and different types. Do you think that there's some that are like in Florida, closer to the equator, they're smaller?
Well, I wouldn't say that. It's according to the part of the country they're in and how available the food source is. If they're eating high protein foods like up north, then they're going to be a lot bigger. Then if you come down more to the south and they're eating good, they're going to be big. But then as you further south you go, the more population of people you get into, then they start to slim down in some cases, but not all cases. Well, I'll give you your instance here in Chattanooga, here in Tennessee. A woman and her daughter spotted a Bigfoot cross the railroad tracks just feet from the car, and at first they thought it was an old man that was just covered up in hair because he probably didn't weigh 200 pounds. And then they realized it was a Bigfoot. But I think they're just like us. It has to do with their health, their eating, all these other things, you know. But generally, the further north you go, the bigger the mass is.
Okay.
Of course, I've seen smaller ones up north, but
Yeah.
again, most of the time they're going to be a little bit bigger than we have down here in the south, as far as height wise.
Yeah.
Uh,
I could.
generally here 7.5, 8.5. Every now and then a 9 or 10 footer. Up there, you're going to run into more closer to 9 feet tall. It'll be
Jeez.
more on the average.
And that puppy that you found, can you give us an estimate of was it like the size of a Doberman or not?
No, he only weighed about 15 pounds.
Oh,
He
really?
hadn't grown any straight hair on him yet. He was just a fur ball. He had
That's
his
cool.
injured tail. His tail was missing and bloody, and his teeth. He had the short snout, but he had extremely big forearms. And when I put him in my lap and was looking into his mouth and stuff, he had at least a 3-inch fangs on the uppers and lowers. And when his mouth closed, by holding his gum up and his closing his mouth, the bottom ones fit just inside a pocket, a hole in his jaw. And the outer ones hung outside the gum.
Mhm.
So they protruded outside where you could see them easy.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Nice.
he had clear
Hey,
eyes, clear eyes like a glass. There were no pupils, there were no blood veins or nothing in them, but he still could follow your hand and follow you. He wasn't what you'd say playful, but he's very attentive. Uh, when I picked him up out of my lap and set him on the trail, he walked with his front legs with his elbows touching first, laid out.
Right.
So his elbow and his hand was laid on the ground, and he had hands just like ours. His was covered in fur. He had an elbow like ours. He had a forearm like ours. His back end was more dog-like, you know. So
But could you see the other characteristics like the inside? Did they have those pads with fur in it, or were the hands like ours, like just
no, he had the fur come down in between the fingers. Okay. His pads were on his hands were just like it wasn't even a black color. It was more like a gray color,
Oh,
a
yeah.
real light gray.
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought they were. Is that Jessica calling you, Bruce?
No. Did you send her a link?
Yeah. I'm just going
Okay.
to send her another one too, just to make sure.
Yeah. No, it wasn't anybody calling me.
Okay.
Nah, it's my phone. I got the
Oh, it was yours? Okay.
ringer shut off, but it's vibrating.
Oh, okay. But no, that pup was he was at first I thought it was a freak of nature, and it was just a wild pup, a wild dog until when he was coming down that vine, and I took the gloves out and I didn't put one on. I just held it up in front of him. He didn't try to bite me or anything. So I watched him a few more minutes, and well, wasn't a few minutes, might have been a couple minutes. And then as he got closer down the vine to me to where I could actually reach and pick him up with both hands, I picked him up. So
That's awesome.
just set him in my lap. He wasn't hyper. He was just laid back. Of
Bet
course,
he wasn't that old, really. I bet he wasn't too old at all.
no, he couldn't have been. He couldn't have been.
He said his
Most
eyes
wi-
were kind of clear.
Yeah,
You know how,
most
like,
wild.
when a newborn's born, their eyes look kind of cloudy.
Right, right. That's what I figured the same thing. Then I got thinking about, well, there's a mother somewhere. So
Yeah.
I picked him back up and set him on the vine. And by
Actually,
then I
when you left the pup, you ran into the mother, probably, because you
yes,
said you seen another one as you walked up the ridge, or
yeah, I
that
went
might have been the mother, maybe.
yeah, that's what I assumed, and I named her Laser Eyes. She was the one
Yeah.
that had the red glowing eyes. It looked like lasers. After I set the pup back on the vine, I decided it was time I might only ease on around, so I followed the trail around and went around the point, and then cut back up the hill and went around another holler and crossed another point, and went through that holler and was started up another point, a little hill there, and I heard a scream. So I just got set down on the rock there, a big rock, thought I was hid, because I could see down the hill into the creek. And the creek is just a running creek, probably wasn't ankle deep. And I just sat there. Of course, I was out of breath because I was trying to put some distance between me and the pup. And I was out of breath. It was hot and muggy that day. And I seen something coming down the creek. And I just kept watching and watching. And when it come out into an open area in between two trees, I seen, well, it's a dog man. Well, it was down on all fours. And when it got directly even, when it was in the creek and I was on the hill on that rock, got directly even, and it stood up and turned around and looked directly at me. And it let out a big scream. Well, I run behind a big tree about the size of a 55-gallon drum, poked my head out, watching it. And it started up the hill, but it was walking on two legs coming up the hill.
Jeez.
And
That's awesome.
when it did that, I knew that I had to get out of there because where I was out of breath, I figured it'd hear my heart thumping and know exactly what tree I was behind. So when I stepped out to run, when I stepped out, I was looking to make sure exact spot it was at. It let out another scream, but it started out as a low pitch and went to an extremely high pitch, and it zapped me. You know, I froze up there for a second, and I started losing my breath. Felt like my throat was swelling. Well, I had stumbled when it done that, and
2%.
yep, and that was enough to knock that off of me, but it was still affecting my breathing. So I said, well, I got to get out of here. I went straight on up the hill as straight as I could go and hit an old logging road. And I followed that logging road around and then cut off that logging road straight to the hill. Top of the hill up there, I knew there was another road on the mountain that ATVs and four-wheel drive trucks were using because I was parked at the other end of it. So when I got up there was a 3-foot woven wire fence with 2 strands of barbed wire on it. So I crossed it. And when I crossed it, I kept looking back and I hit this clear road, this clear trail, the dirt trail for four-wheelers and four-wheel drive trucks and side-by-sides. I started walking on it, looking back. Well, it come up to the fence and it stepped across the fence like me and you would step across a toy in the driveway. And I pulled out my pistol and shot around in the air, and it didn't phase it a bit.
Yeah.
Didn't pay a bit of attention to it. It just kept coming. So I knew if I made a right and went into this thicket, this briar thicket, sapling thicket, there was an old house and an old barn in there. So I made it into that house, and I went through the house into the back part and got into the corner of a room where I could see both doors. And so I sat there with my gun drawn, waiting, and it never showed up. About 45 minutes later, the birds were hollering, everything went back to normal. Well, I've got it made, so I've got a chance to get out. So when I went out the back door to the side of the house, the back door was on the side instead on the very back of the house. When I went out that door and stepped around the corner, there it was standing in that briar thicket watching me. So it knew where I was at the whole time. So I started talking out loud and I stayed in the road. I made my way back to the road and I stayed in that road, and it stayed to the right of me, just a few yards to the right in that sapling thicket and them briars. And I'd make a few steps and I'd stop, keep talking, had my pistol in my hand. It never got close to me. It never screamed at me, growled at me or nothing. It just watching me. So I'd walk a little bit more. Well, I finally got to this little hill, and I knew right to the other side of this little hill was my vehicle. If I could make it there and get in the vehicle without getting attacked, I'd be all right.
Yeah.
Well, when I started at the base of that little hill, little drive going up there, when I got to the base of it going up, it had picked up its speed and got slightly in front of me to the right of me. And it was looking at me, and I wouldn't look it in the eyes, but when I looked down on I was wearing a dark camouflage shirt. When I looked down, there was 2 laser dots on my chest, and they were about half the size of the bottom of a coffee cup. And that's the reason why I could name that one Laser Eyes. Well, I made it on up just about to my car, and it stepped out in the road and started following me to the car. When I made it to the car, I put my key in the ignition. I keep it in my front seat under a towel. I reached and got my key under my thigh, put it in the ignition, started up, and I had to back out and turn around. When I backed up to turn around, it jumped on top of my car. And then when I come out and went through the gate to hit the gravel dirt road people traveled often, I was able to cut the car hard to the right and hit the brakes and sling it off. And that was the last time I'd seen Laser Eyes. I hadn't been back in there.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. So are you naturally in tune with all of nature, or cryptids in general? Yeah, I know that you have a feeling for them, whether they're gonna end up being mean or
Right,
gonna end up being nice.
right. Well, generally, you look for areas that signs that these cryptids are in. I like to go out and have encounters with them. In 56 years, I've only had one bad, what I would call a bad encounter. And the rest of them have been good encounters.
It's
After
perfect.
said and done, they were good encounters. At the time, you don't really know. With my Bigfoot, I've had great encounters except for one. That was the one that school bus driver and the kids were seeing a bear and a cub cross a road every morning between 6:20 and 6:30 every morning. And when they were getting to school, the kids were telling the teachers about it. The principal ended up talking to the bus driver, and the bus driver said, yeah, but there hadn't been any bears in that area since the late 1800s. They were killed out. So the superintendent of the school, Mr. Shanks, he knew me. He didn't live far down the road from my farm, and I hunted his farm, and we traded work. We helped get each other's tobacco and hay and stuff in. So I hunted his farm. He had a big creek going through it. I trapped and hunted. And he gets a hold of me, and he says, Bruce, we got this going on, and I'd like for you to look into it, see if there's anything truth to it. Got all these school kids and the bus driver saying it's a bear and a cub. But he was like me, well, we hadn't had any bears in this part of the country since the late 1800s. So I went and talked to the bus driver. The bus driver told me, yeah, there's a bear and a cub. They stand up and walk across the road. I said, well, I'd lived in Alaska too, and
Oh yeah.
I knew that wasn't normal for a bear to walk across the road on his hind legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But I had to take their word for it. There were so many witnesses to it. So I knew the guy that owned the land. He was a park ranger. He owned a farm next to mine, and on the back side of mine, his sister and her husband owned a farm. So I went and talked to him, asked him about hunting it, going over there and hunting it. And he said, well, you know, if it's a bear. And I said, yeah, we're not legally allowed to shoot it, but we can pepper it, try to run it off.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I don't think it's a bear. And I said, I don't think it's a bear either, to be honest with you. I think they're seeing something else. It might be somebody walking across the road in front of the bus, you know, just aggravating them.
Yeah.
Well, he said, well, when do you want to do this? I said, I want to go tonight. He said, if you go tonight, I won't go with you. And I said, all right, that's fine. That was earlier that morning. By that evening, he talked to his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law worked for Ford Motor Company, and he had a brand new four-wheel drive Ford truck. He said, y'all take my truck. Well, his son, about 18, 19 years old, he wanted to go with us, which was fine because that would put me and the park ranger, Mr. George, we could get in the back of the truck with the guns and the spotlight and let the kid drive. That way, well, to be truthful with you, if a truck got tore up, it was on him.
There you go. Exactly.
This was a brand new truck.
Exactly. I'd be the same. Maybe we
Yeah.
should just rent a truck. You know?
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
we get up there, it's 10, 11
Yeah,
o'clock
go
at
ahead.
night. And 10, 11 o'clock at night. So we have him pull through the barn yard and back the truck up to the upper side of the barn where we could see the field in behind the barn. And I've got a Johnny Walker game caller, and we put a rabbit squeal call on, and I got this big speaker, big PA speaker, and I handed the boy the cord to my spotlight through the window, and I said, "Your job is to keep this plugged in, in the cigarette lighter. Don't let us pull the cord out."
Yeah.
He agreed to that. He could handle that. So we started the call, let it run 10 minutes or so, cut the call off, flipped the spotlight on. We had a bobcat, a red fox, a coyote, a skunk, a raccoon. And this is January. We can still take fur. So I raised a rifle up, little 22 rifle. We had 5 guns. We had laid a quilt on the cab of this new truck, and we had 2 high-powered rifles, a shotguns, and 2 22 rifles. So I got ready to shoot because the park ranger was holding the light, and I got ready to shoot. I was going to shoot the bobcat first. Back then, bobcat bring $500 or $600, and about the time I got ready to shoot the bobcat, we heard the god awfulest scream come off a mountaintop you ever heard. I mean, it was jarring. And I looked over at him and I said, "I'm gonna hold up, and we'll hold up here. And let's find out what this is. We know it's not a bear or anything like that, you know." So it comes off this hill and it sounds like a runaway bulldozer with no engine. There's trees breaking. It's just a terrible noise coming off the hill, and it's screaming the whole time. And when it steps out of the woods into the field, it's a giant hairy man. I mean, it's a monster to us. Well, it takes out running right towards us. We're standing in the back of the truck. We don't have time to get out of the bed of the truck, and get back in the cab. We've got too much stuff, our guns, everything. So I reached around and grabbed my 243. He was shooting, the best I can remember, a 30-06. So we both grabbed a rifle, spun back around, and by this time he was within, I'm going to say 20 to 25 feet of the truck, but he stopped. And he let out this terrible, it started out as like a bull, making a low bull sound, and then went to a high pitch, and it zapped us. Well, neither me or him could pull the trigger. Well, the boy that was in the front seat that was driving, keeping her spotlight plugged in, this went down so quick we didn't even realize that he started the truck. And those trucks back then had those great big old outside mirrors, side mirrors. And he had seen it through that side mirror. He took off, and us standing up in the bed of the truck, and it threw us down against the tailgate. As I was going over the tailgate, George grabbed me, pulled me back in. When he took off and it threw us down like that, it threw us out of that stun stage, that zap stage. And he went out through the barnyard, and that truck could get, and it hit the gravel road sideways out of the gate. And this thing took off running us. And it stayed with us not far off the tailgate. Me and George was down on the back, sitting down on the back ends, looking over the tailgate at it as it was running the truck. And we was fiddling around trying to find one of our guns. But we were just locked in on this big creature. Well, we get up to 30, we're guessing 30, 35 miles an hour. We don't know what the boy's running. We're watching this thing. And we go around the curve, and the boy speeds the truck up, and how we know he speeds the truck up, it starts fishtailing on this gravels. And this thing starts slowly fading out. Now, I don't know whether he run out of juice or whether he decided to back off. Well, when we got to the boy's house, his daddy loaned us the truck. When he pulled in the driveway, he bailed out of the truck, run in the house, left the truck in gear. So George jumped off. He was behind in the bed on the driver's side. He jumped off the bed of the truck and run up there and put the truck in park and cut it off. Well, that boy's daddy had come out by then asking us what happened. As we was telling him what we seen and what happened, the mama come out screaming there's something wrong with her son. I mean, she just full-blown panic mode. So we run in there, and he's shaking, his lips are quivering and stuff. He can't talk, and his eyes are just huge and they're dilated, and he just can't talk. So we're sitting there patting him on the shoulder and stuff, trying to get him out of this state. And the mama was still upset, and me and George and her husband told him, said, he'll be all right. Just give him a minute. Don't pressure him. And she said, well, I'll make some hot chocolate. She made us all some hot chocolate. We sat there at the table drinking the hot chocolate, kept talking to him. And the first words out of his mouth when he come about halfway back to his senses is, it's coming to the house. It's going to kill every one of us. It's going to kill us. It's going to kill us. And we assured him it wouldn't. But he never did get back fully to himself in his right mind for a good 6 months. You know, he was just terrified.
I've heard that's got a long, lengthy,
yep.
You know, and even the PTSD and the nightmares and stuff happen, probably, I think somebody had said 6 years to 10 years, but I'm not sure what, never had that problem, so I don't know.
Well,
but
I told the park ranger, I said, well, we need to go get our guns. We went out there in the bed of the truck to get our guns. Of course, the quilt wasn't there. We had 3 guns in the bed of the truck. We were missing 2 guns. I told him, I said, we're going to have to go back up there and get them guns. And he was like, I'm not going back. I said, we got to. I mean, this is your land too, that this is on. I said, we got to go back and get those guns. Well, his idea was wait till it got good and daylight, which I wasn't going to argue with him, you know. So about 7:30, 8 o'clock, we went up there. We found one of the guns at the edge of the road when we come through the gate. It had a busted stock, and we found one in front of the barnyard. It wasn't hurt, just scratched up. So we got the guns back. Of course, when we went back up there, we were heavy loaded. We had some big caliber, 45 caliber pistols on us, and plus I had a 28-inch shotgun that shot double out buck. I had that in my hand. With close encounter like that will pretty much put down an elephant.
Yeah.
We get up there and we're looking around. We stumble upon these giant footprints. At that time, I'm wearing a 9.5 police boot. And I lay my boot sideways in its track, and it still likes an inch or inch and a half being as wide as the track. And then when I put my heel to the heel of that print, of course, it was sunk down good. I had to put it down and push it up against the dirt, and then put my toe to my boot to that, to my other boot. I still liked another inch and a half. So you're looking at a 20 to 21 inch track by 10 to 10.5 inches wide. So it was a monster. So we followed the tracks out through the gate, and even though it was cold that night, he weighed enough that he went through that frost line, I call it, into that mud, because there'd been cattle in there 2 weeks before, and Mr. Shanks had moved them down to the farm next to mine, where the hay barn was, where he could feed them through the winter instead of having to drive up the road with a load of hay to the next farm to feed them. He had moved them for convenience, and so that was we followed it almost to the curve. It left muddy prints in the road, the dirt road, and that one particular one was never seen there again.
Huh.
Now I'm under the assumption I didn't see for sure because that's what I wasn't looking at, whether it was a male or a female.
Yeah.
It's, you're just not in that mind state at that time to be paying attention to stuff like that. I assumed it was a big male by the size of it. And it was I'm assuming that what the kids and the bus driver was seen crossing the road was a female and a young one. Well, there was a house directly across the road from that barn, and the elderly couple lived there. They moved out the next day because they said they had seen it under the street light and the back porch light coming through their driveway and yard several times and just didn't know what it was. And it had scared them pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do it.
Yeah.
It. Gosh. Have you
Mm.
talked to him since? Or has this been years and years ago?
I've seen Mr. Ted and Ted was the owner of the truck. I seen him about 8 years ago here in Cookeville, Tennessee, at a X-ray. I can't think the name of the X-ray place. It's Premier X-ray, and I seen him outside waiting. His wife was having the X-rays done, and he was on up in his age then. He told me that was still talked about in that community till that day.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Something like that. It doesn't happen
Yeah.
to everyone. Well,
Yeah.
besides you, Bruce.
Well,
We're still trying to track down the first one, and you're out there, hanging out with them and stuff like that. So
right.
that would be a cool life. It really would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you?
Have you heard?
Did you think that when you got zapped, the kid was just in shock, or he was zapped too? Well, I guess he would be zapped too.
No. About 7 or 8 months later, when he got his mind back, he told us that when we had the spotlight on him at the back of the truck, and it took off running towards the truck and stopped and made that scream, he was looking at it through that big side mirror, and he felt a vibration go through his body, and it scared him. And he knew that we couldn't get out of the back of the truck, so that's the reason why he took off.
Yeah.
A combination of him being terrified and us in the back of the truck caused him to take off.
Have you ever heard of that? I think it's out by you, Bearilla.
A what?
Bearilla. Barilla.
No, I haven't heard of that.
I might be wrong on it. But yeah, I remember something out there that was like that. That lion, that you had posted that would look very similar to that. Yeah.
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 Really weird, but yeah. Let's see. Somebody had a question for you, and it was where was it? Oh, and if you guys have any questions, post them in capitals so I can see them too. Okay.
Did Jess ever jump in or say anything?
No, no. But I sent. She's got 2 accounts, so I sent the links to both of them. That way, if she came across and which one it was, she would still know. But
let me check mine right quick while you're doing that.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Oh, you're still back here. Okay.
She must have sent me a message if she sent me something.
You want to take a quick look? I'm gonna go grab the dog. I'll be right back.
All right. Let me take a quick look here. I'll be right back.
Go ahead, Bruce.
All right.
Oh, man. Been a long day. I mowed about 12 acres of grass in the last 2 days. I did one. I did one. I did one. So, how long's your sciatica been acting up?
Since Saturday night.
Last Saturday?
Yeah. And any weight I put on it, oh my god, it's like one of those cattle prods.
Yeah. Oh, when mine acted up, it was a pain just to sit on the toilet and get up and
Oh
move
yeah.
afterwards, or if you sat
Oh,
down and
mine
got
was
up. Oh,
yeah, mine was so pinched that I tried to lay
yeah,
down, or you would walk by something and hit it with your finger. It just like
yeah,
jolts through your whole
can't
body.
you can't get comfortable.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
So,
Yeah, I was out here even earlier one morning because I just couldn't stay asleep. Then you got
there's
the
this.
dogs running around your feet and you're
Yeah.
barely putting enough weight on it.
Have you ever tried that biofreeze?
Yeah. Yeah, that stuff works pretty good, but
Yeah,
they don't sell much of it out here.
there ain't too
So,
much. It helps, but there ain't too much that help with sciatica, really.
no,
It
that no
double up on
Neurontin
your
or
double up on
gabapentin.
your gabapentin, but then you can't function.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, just take more of that. Did you hear they were going to make that they were going to make that Schedule 2 medication
Yeah, a
because kids are
narcotic.
using
Yeah,
it.
it
Yeah,
already
because
is in
kids are using it and
Indiana.
getting. Oh, really? Oh, no,
You
no.
have to
This was
sign
supposed to be last year, but
for it,
it
show
might
your
have been just
driver's
California.
license. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, because a couple of times I've heard that they've
I,
been there,
I
or
get.
it's been in
Yeah,
other areas where it's
if
been a
you abuse
problem.
it,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah, in
I
which
can
I
see where
didn't
it cause
suspect.
problems if people abuse it, because it.
Oh,
I'm like you. I've doubled up on a dose before to get out of pain, and it,
oh
woo,
yeah,
tear you up.
yeah. Hey, there she is. Oh shit. All right. Hang on 1 second here. I'm gonna resend it to you, Jessica.
I don't know what's going on.
The link's not. I sent it to both accounts of hers. Let me see if I can resend them.
There's Bruce back.
Bruce is back.
Yeah, there's some kind of delay going on again.
Okay. So, okay.
Because I'm
Jessica, I
moving
got.
and I can't see myself moving on the screen.
Yeah. No, I noticed that too. I don't know if it's slow because of us or. Let's see. I've got Bruce. She said it's not working. Okay. Let me find the other.
They've been having problems.
That's what I hear. Yeah.
StreamYard has and YouTube. I heard
Yeah.
YouTube's been having problems too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can only put so many people on so many platforms.
There it
Um,
is. I think it might be up.
Jessica, I
Come
sent
on,
it
you
to
butthead.
your Jessica Jones and
There
your
we go.
Jessica the Cryptid Huntress accounts, so you
For
can
some
jump
reason,
on in.
you guys ain't on there.
Yeah. I don't know if she saw me. I sent them to both of your accounts, Jessica. Check one. Hold on, let me see if I can. She's got more than one account.
There's Daniel.
I am here. Okay.
Oh my God.
Send it to 3. Oh, she's got 3 accounts.
There's two guests down below. See if it's me and Bruce. Yeah, that's who it is.
Oh, doesn't have that picture. Is she streaming, or is she on? I think she uses StreamYard too, right?
Right. Yeah, she uses StreamYard.
Yeah, put you back up. Now it's saying added to stage, and you guys aren't there.
Now we're on.
You're on? Okay, because it's only a picture of me right now.
Right. It's having to do with your backstage and.
Yeah, I sent the link to each one of her accounts. She's got 3 of them. So she should be there.
Okay,
Can you see me?
I can see
I just
you.
got a message from Jessica say, "Can you send me the link again?"
Yeah,
the link doesn't take me to the studio.
Oh.
Can you send it again, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you got like, is there a reason why I can't see me and Bruce up there, or you trying to work on things?
I'm like, what the heck?
He can see me. I can see him. You're still in the back. You're still in the backstage, Larry. He hasn't brought you out yet.
Well, I might have to go out and come back in and see what it does. I hate doing that. But yeah, all week, everybody's been complaining about StreamYard and YouTube. YouTube's been even dropping and messing up people. So too many users, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to try this.
Everybody's on some podcast anymore, one way or another. All right, I guess. So she's got 3 accounts.
I sent it to her messenger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sending more just in case. Yeah, I sent them to two of our accounts. The third one won't take it. I think she uses StreamYard too.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see if we can fix us. And remove. How are we going to remove him? He's not even on there.
Now I'm back in.
There she is. Now I got her. Yeah, now that's what I mean. We may have to put her on to figure out how to get the rest of you guys on. So it's like, jeez.
I should be back in the show now. It's showing I am.
Oh, okay, good. All right, I see what it means.
Yep.
There we go.
Jessica.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, we got a legend in the house.
Yes,
Oh my
we do.
gosh.
The Cryptid Hunters.
Not quite. But yeah, it's nice to meet y'all. What's up, everybody? Sorry, I'm
Hey,
running late.
Hello.
So
That's all right. No worries.
no, we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
I've had one person say, "Oh, we can't make it today," and I'm like, "Don't worry about it." Now we had two, and then I was like, "I'm going. It's going to be the three of us, Bruce." So, but there's a couple familiar names, Jessica, in there for you. Ryan Paul Tremblay. You remember Ryan?
oh yeah, I know Ryan. Absolutely. What's up, Ryan?
Yeah. Oh, he's been around for years. Yeah, good guy. Really knowledgeable. Really knowledgeable.
Thank you.
So, well, it's good to have you. I think I had sent you a
Well, thank you.
message to ask you, and then I was kind of, did I send it? Because I was going to have you on too, but both you and Bruce at the same time, because you got a lot better questions than I do, Jessica. It's
Oh my gosh. Well, thank
yeah.
you. Yeah. Sorry, y'all. I'm having to plug
No,
all
no
my
worries.
equipment in.
Like I said, we're not
All right, there we
some
go.
expensive show. But,
Oh man. Yes. Well,
so-
I just got home, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm the guest on Faith Radio tonight, actually.
Oh really?
And
Oh gosh. After
yes,
this,
so I have
or-
a show tonight in just a couple hours, and I've got a whole circus going on behind the camera right now with my kid and the dog. So I'm so sorry. It's been one of those
Got
days,
the
y'all.
dogs, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh
Well,
yes,
You are
you're
always
getting
busy.
Oh
I
yeah.
am.
Oh yeah.
I'm busy. Y'all see me on air, and then I'm a mom too, so that's double busy. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then was it Spaced Out Radio?
Yes.
you were on? Was that one of them? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Locked it.
Yeah, with Dave Scott.
Yeah. Okay.
I just got on the phone with him actually. I was running a little late. I mean, I knew I was gonna be late, but Dave called. So yeah, we're getting ready for the show
worries.
tonight.
I
There
did.
was it you knew Paranormal Portal, right? Brent?
I had met Brett before. Yeah, I'd met
Yeah.
him. He and I had been on a panel together before. I can't remember whose show we were on, but he was super nice guy. Super nice
Really
guy.
good guy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I had called in a couple of times and talked to him, but that was it. And then I saw that he had passed, and I'm like, that can't be the same guy. And he looked younger in that picture than he did when I was watching him over podcast. So, but yeah, we lost him this first of this week, and it was Brent Thompson. Brent
Thomas.
Brent
Yeah,
Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brett Thomas.
And we
Oh
just
yeah.
keep losing more and more people. It's
Gosh,
crazy.
I've lost so many friends. There, a lot of my
Yeah.
friends in the disclosure community have passed away. And
Oh,
I
really?
mean, one of my very closest friends, one of my best friends, Mark Machak, passed away a few months ago. And people knew him in the chats as Cryptidville. And he used to come into. He used to be my guest. I somehow got him to be my guest. He wasn't public at all, but he was a longtime cryptid field researcher out of the LBL up in Kentucky. And
Yeah.
so I don't know how I got him on my show, but I did. And we were just really good friends. And he just kind of suddenly passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just we're losing a lot of good people right now.
Yeah.
For
yeah.
sure.
It's weird because so many people knew him, and then I kept going, the name sounds familiar, and then I saw Spaced Out Radio, and then his Paranormal Portal, and I was like, oh man. And I think he was 35. I think they said.
Really? He's
Yeah,
young.
I think he's a little older than that, so it's
He
probably
was-
an earlier picture.
Yeah, I thought he was older than me. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I'm old. I'm a lot older than 35.
Well, and
So
I remember, just speaking to him where he was kind of, he seemed like he was 40s, 45. I think he's got a couple of kids too. So, pray for them. And
Yeah.
okay, yeah. All right, Jessica, I'm gonna let you ask Bruce a question.
You want me to ask Bruce a question?
Yeah.
Hey, you want to talk about the Whitleyville?
Yes, we can talk about Whitleyville. You see, Bruce saw my truck up at this property a long time ago, and Bruce is on my show, and Bruce, I had asked you out of the blue. I said, "Hey, are you familiar with Whitleyville, Tennessee?" And I had done an investigation at a skinwalker cave where there was some dogman activity, some Bigfoot activity. The ladies' chickens were going missing. We had spent some time in the caves out there, and the story was that there was a skinwalker. It was a skinwalker cave, and a Choctaw shaman, had sealed up a bunch of skinwalkers in this cave, right? And so we did this weekend-long investigation. Well, it turns out, Bruce, you knew all about it because you saw my truck sitting out there. We had a whole crew of people out there with tents and everything. So yes, can you tell us about that, Bruce?
Yeah.
Please. Tell us the story behind it.
The place where you were staying at, Jessica, the caves, there's a couple caves behind it, and they were sealed. And since you had been out there afterwards, they unsealed those caves. And in front of those caves, across the little drive there, was a giant Indian mound. That Indian mound was torn down prior to Jessica and her crew going there, and it released a lot of bad things there. And they had a medicine woman, a shaman, that used skinwalkers to run crawlers in there, and then they closed it in with the skinwalkers and the crawlers.
Oh, God.
And sealed it. And you had a lot of strange things going on there. And then the man and woman that lived in the house there, he started having abusive behavior. He was a really outgoing person that was liked by everybody. Well, he become very mean. And he ended up with a bunch of these really dark circles under his eyes and stuff. So I'm assuming he got possessed. And he killed his wife on the porch where Jessica's got a picture where she was sitting at the time, but she didn't know that.
We had no clue. I didn't know.
Yeah. Jeez.
But that house was haunted. The house was very haunted, where she had died. And we had found a bunch of kids' toys, or like little doodads and knickknacks that belonged to kids that were inside that cave.
Right.
And you said something about the crawlers. Well, some of the guys had gone way back in that cave until their ropes ran out. And I stayed up front, guarding the front, because I didn't want to go back there that far. But it was creepy back there. It was not a good feeling being in there. But one of the guys whistled in the cave. He decided he was going to whistle. They had run out of rope. He whistled, and one of the guys was filming with his camera phone, and apparently a pale crawler peeked his head around the back in the shadows back there. So right in front of him. And I think they got that on camera. So they're in there for sure. That place was super creepy.
Yeah. Now, are you close to where Bruce is at, Jessica?
No, I live in Georgia.
You're Georgia, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I live in Georgia. I'm about, I'm gonna say 4 or 5 hours from there. It's got to be more than that because I've been to Kentucky about 3 times in the past 3 months, and I have to pass through. I don't go through Whitleyville. That's kind of farther to the east. Right. I go through Nashville and head up from Georgia up to, Kentucky, to the land between the lakes. And so I don't go that way, but I'm going to say it's going to be at least 4.5, 5 hours from where I live.
Yeah. Well,
Something
yeah.
like
I mean, me living in California isn't the greatest place to research, but like you guys have all that stuff going on back there. So
California's full of interesting cryptids, though. So I got tons of research friends out there.
Oh, I remember one from your what was his name? Brown Dwarf was one of
Yeah,
them.
Brown, aka
He's out
Bigfoot Dwarf. He changed his
Bigfoot
name.
Dwarf.
He's Bigfoot Dwarf now.
Okay. Well, that's why he's not getting back to me. So, but yeah, no, I mean, very cool that you're out there. I guess we lost everybody except for you, Jessica. Just you. I guess we scared everybody out. So, anyways, let's see. Next question, Woodleyville.
So I got to catch some of your podcast earlier this week,
Oh, yeah, me
Jessica,
too.
but
Yeah.
not all of it about the Bigfoot.
Oh, that researcher.
Wasn't that a remote broadcast or something like that you did?
The Bigfoot. I'm not sure which one. I do 4 live shows a week.
Yeah,
Four.
that's what I was thinking.
Trying to think.
It's the most recent one.
A recent one?
Yeah, the
Let's
most
see which
recent one.
It was
Well, I did the Flintville monster yesterday.
That's it.
That was
Yeah.
that
I
was
only
one of
got
the
to
more
catch
recent
that
ones.
part of that.
Oh yeah, that's a good one actually. I covered the Flintville monster. It's a some people say it's an angry Bigfoot out of Tennessee. Now that's South Tennessee, just directly north of Alabama. And there's a lot of cryptid activity out there. It's beautiful land. I love North Alabama, South Tennessee. It's beautiful out there. But this thing has been seen since the mid 1970s, and it's violent. The tagline for my show was "It chooses violence." Okay, and so some people thought, well, maybe it could be like a Gugway or a Genosqua. And Ryan was in the chat yesterday. Yeah, Ryan was in there. He was giving us some knowledge on the Genosquas and the Gugways and kind of the difference between those two.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, he
I think
knows.
it's going to be a Genosqua. Yeah.
Genosqua. That's right. I remember hearing about that one. Wow.
Yeah.
So
It's a cool cryptid.
They tend to
What
be
was
a
it?
lot more aggressive and territorial and violent.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the Whitleyville one, right across from the where the house where Jesse and him was at, it burnt down too. And then across the street from it is a barn, and to the left of that barn was a big 2-story. Actually had a basement in it, so it was a 2-story home to where nobody had been able to live in it because it was so haunted. The woman had seen a dog man a couple of days before this incident happened in the backyard, and then 2 nights later, her and her husband was levitated in the bed. He was thrown out the upstairs window, and she was beaten against the walls. And I talked to a person who had to respond to that call, and both of them were in the hospital at the same time, and the house mysteriously burnt to the ground.
No kidding. That sounds demonic.
Bruce, why do you think that everything burned down? Do you think it was because of that Indian burial mound that got demolished?
Yes, and then plus, I think the guy that killed his wife there on that porch, I think he may have opened up the other cave. The other cave was sealed, and had been sealed for I'm guessing around 100 years. So he may have opened the cave up. Now the new owners there, the woman that owned that prior was an elderly woman. Her name was Willie Mae Brewington. And she owned it. It was called the Brewington Farms. She lived up into her 90s, and her daughter owns it now. And I don't know if the daughter sold it, but the new owners had gone in there and used a backhoe with heavy excavating equipment and opened that cave back up. Well, something happened there because they stopped in the middle of it, and they tried to seal the other cave back up, was square bales of hay, and it didn't work because it all got shoved back out. So there's
Shoved
some
out? Like
yeah,
push something, push it from the inside out?
pushed from the inside out, shoved all the square bales of hay that was blocking the entrance before they could recap it.
Oh my God.
So
It had never been opened.
Right. But they didn't know that because nobody up there would tell anybody the truth of what was going on.
Yeah.
And then when Jessica told me about it, I was just floored because I remember seeing her vehicle in those tent canopies in that front yard and stuff, and I was going like, "Whoa, they don't know what they got into," you know.
Yeah.
And I didn't know Jessica at that time, so I didn't know that they were actually doing an investigation of it. I thought it might have been a yard sale or a cookout, you know.
Man, we were going to be cooked. Honestly, it was wild. I mean, I had some forewarning as to what we were dealing with, and I was actually and honestly quite concerned about the whole thing because I'm a longtime Bigfoot field researcher, and I have dealt with all sorts of different kinds of entities and cryptids and stuff for years, right? But I never dealt with what we believe is, I'm just going to start saying an S walker, right? You're not supposed to say that word too much. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't really know. Yes. I didn't really know how to handle it or how to protect myself and the people that were going to be with me. And so we, I'm the kind of person that will put together a operational order, and we locate all the possible threats that could happen and like what to do, and we have these scenarios that we kind of go over before we go to these locations to go do our investigations and stuff. And so I actually contacted a friend of mine who was a Lakota medicine man, and I said, hey, what do I do in this situation? What happens if as far as spiritual protection, energetic protection, physical protection, what do we do? What am I in for? And the gentleman gave me some information, and he was like, don't share this out. I'm giving this to you. Only, keep this within your team, And I got to say, I can't say exactly what it was, but it was very much similar to hunting vampires. That's basically what we were doing, is hunting vampires. And so, yeah, the strange thing is too, is like, the woman who lived in that log cabin out there, I think they were leasing the cabin, I'm pretty sure, because they moved out months later after that house across the road burned down. I remember she was airing that live on Instagram or something. I remember seeing that house burning actually, but her house was very haunted, and they were having, their chickens were going missing out of their chicken coop. And they had just moved there, and they put the chicken coop right up next to that cave entrance, the main entrance. And so they put cameras around the house. And I tell you what, when we got there, we went because she was so upset about her chickens and she was scared for their safety. And they were finding the big footprints around the chicken coop, and like the door would be opened and then closed, and there'd be sticks in there, like they were shooing the chickens to the front of the cage and grabbing the chickens out. The only thing that was in there of the chickens that were missing were feathers. So it wasn't like a predator, and there was no blood. There were no guts anywhere. And but there was a line of feathers going into that cave. And so, I've been doing tracking for a long time, and we're going in there expecting to find some footprints. Whatever was taking those chickens was going to leave some prints and stuff. We got into that cave, y'all. There was nothing. It was almost like whatever was taking those chickens was taking them up to that cave and either scaling the side of the wall, or it was just disappearing into a portal or something, because there was nothing. I mean, I'm talking about the floor was just pure mud, and there was nothing in there. So it was very odd. It seemed kind of paranormal, honestly, or reptilian or something. I don't know. We were having a hard time. Maybe it was pell crawlers. We don't know, but it was weird.
Now the crawlers, and is it the rake? Are those the same thing, or they are the same thing? Okay, good. Because I had seen that on a couple things, and I'm going. Yes,
they're supposed to be the same thing. I think the rake. See, people are always, if I say something that is wrong, people will correct me in my chats and stuff. So they said that, from what I was told, Pell crawlers, and there's also the Pell walkers as well, by the way. There's Pell crawlers and walkers. Some of them are upright, some of them walk on 4 legs or hands and legs. I don't know. But the rake is actually something that Creepypasta came up with. And it's like that, but people say that's the Creepypasta version. Okay, so I just say crawlers. That's what I call them.
Yeah.
People get so technical, y'all.
So. Yes, they do. And the longer you
I think I'd rather see another dogman or a Bigfoot than a crawler.
Me too.
They're kind of creepy.
Yeah. That echolocation would that clicking would get to me. That'd be the first thing I would think of.
Yeah, I actually heard that at the LBL last weekend. I was just up in Kentucky last weekend, and we were at a what they call the witches cemetery at about 3-4 o'clock in the morning.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was scary. I don't get super scared, but I got a little scared that night. It was just unnerving, and we were, there's like pentagrams on some of the graves and stuff like these. Other things go back to the 1700s, 1800s, and that's fine. It is what it is. But we were kind of outstaying our welcome, I think, out there, and I started hearing clicks around us in the tree line, and it was definitely a pill crawler kind of a feeling out there. It sucked. Yeah.
I think that's what like from a tulpa, something like that, or is that do we even know that is anywhere close to Creepypasta?
Yeah, well, a tulpa is just a manifested being out of clay. Some people say clay or something, right? But a tulpa is like it's a thought form manifested being, right? So 100%, I have a very active imagination and I can manifest things. I know I can. That's why that's why my team, actually, my Bigfoot cryptid field research team, that's why the head of our team trained us all in like the military style remote viewing, because we were out in the field and we were having these encounters. We have a lot of ET activity out in the field. And so he knew that, we're experiencing missing time, possible alien abductions, and all that kind of stuff's going to go on out there. And if I think what he told us was like, well, if we don't learn to control our minds out there in the field, something else will. Control. And that's the truth. And especially when you have people that are pretty good at manifesting their realities and stuff, it can happen. You can bring things on. So you got to keep a very positive mind and an open heart when you're out there dealing with scary stuff in the woods. Yeah,
definitely. Well, you started, was it 13 that you started Bigfoot?
2011. I went on my first Bigfoot expedition.
That's
a while.
What was that? Oh,
2011. She's been at it a while now.
Yeah, she has. Yeah. Let's see. Robin Ray. Southern Middle Tennessee is incredibly rich. Lots of food, water, and cover for prey and predators. Gotcha. Wrong prey I was thinking. But so there, both of you, since being out in California, it's like you guys, are there a lot of properties out there that are known for the paranormal, and then it goes through other cryptids and whatnot out there? Do you think it's just the age of the land?
Oh, I think it's the land. Honestly, I think it's the land, but I think also through my experience, it's the people you take out there in the woods. It's the people that create these experiences as well. And I don't know, Bruce has had some mind-blowing encounters and some properties near where he lives out there. So I think Bruce should talk about that. Bruce, all those haunted houses out there and those hotels and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I've got the Donahoe Hotel burnt there in Red Walnut Springs, and I was there when within probably 15 or 20 minutes of it catching a fire. And I was able to take multiple pictures of spirits coming out and climbing outside the walls, coming out the front doors and stuff. And then after I kept the pictures a couple weeks, I decided that I might ought to delete them. So I deleted them all. And then a firefighter friend of mine who was there helping put the fire out, he also took a couple pictures and he sent them to me, and I had shared it to Jessica. And you can actually see the spirits burning inside as they're trying to get out the doors. So it's a real hot spot for that. And back to where the place that Jessica was, her and her team were investigating. I went back, was it 2 weeks ago, Jessica? 3 weeks?
It's been a couple weeks. I think it's about 2 weeks.
So I went back and took some pictures for her and sent them to her. And then I went back the next day and went above that cave system. And between that cave system on that mountain and on the other side of the mountain is a cemetery and a barn. And when I went up through there looking to see if the cave system come out on that side, or if there was any shafts coming up to the top of the mountain, I jumped up what I thought was a dog man, but it was a being with a huge wingspan that favored a dog man, but had horns that come forward, that come off of his head and went forward. And it flew down to the barn, and its wingspan was so wide that it couldn't go into the barn without landing and closing its wings and walking in. And it had hoofed feet. And it had crow's feathers covering its body. So I walked down to the
Sounds
barn.
kind of like a Mothman, but different.
Yeah.
Well, they've actually just recently had Mothman sightings out there in Tennessee.
Yeah.
East Tennessee, I believe it was.
So I really don't know what that was. When I come on Jessica's show, Cryptis Hunters, I asked her, hoping she would know what it was. And I think y'all done a remote view on it or something, or going to.
I have not yet. Man, I tell you what, I told Bruce, I told you that had to be the final boss of all the S-walkers out there or something.
Right.
That just sounds wild. I've not really heard a whole lot about winged dogmen, but I do. It's kind of like a winged dogman or a bat squatch. You know, we've talked about bat squatch. It sounds very similar to that.
Right.
Yeah. Jeez.
Of course, we have in the town that I own property in, that hotel burned in, and plus we have another hotel there called the Thomas House. It's been on every reality TV show paranormal to be thought of. And you have a lot of ghosts in it. While my father was the mayor there, the swimming pool got dug up there in front of the Thomas House, and it wound up being a swimming pool under it. And they found the remains of an 8-year-old boy that drowned it. It never was found on the property, so it was in that. And then
giant owl, baby owls. Huh. Sorry, Bruce, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, that's okay. So they found an 8-year-old there that had drowned it in the first pool, but for some reason the second pool was built over the top of it, and he wasn't removed. I don't know if we got caught in the drain. There was speculation that at that time the drain wasn't properly covered. Could have sucked him through. It had a massive drain. There was a big pool. Before they
I know
started
exactly what you're talking about. My cousin almost drowned that way.
Right.
That suction at the bottom, it just pulled him down to his chest and had him stuck there. Scary.
And then my daughter wanted to go there, and I asked her several times not to, but she went with a friend, and they got to witness quite a bit of spirits there. And then they played a ball with a little spirit girl there that had her little rubber red, the old timey red bouncing balls. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, then my daughter got murdered. So I think there's just a lot of bad things in that hotel. And before the Cherries bought it, the Thomas house, a group of devil worshippers out of California bought it, and it upset the whole town. And we had to go up there several times as law enforcement officers and deal with it. And yes, they were real heavy into devil worshiping. I think there was 119 or 120 of them living in that hotel that come out of California, belonged to some kind of devil worshiping thing. And
doesn't surprise me out here.
So there were several efforts to run them out of town. It didn't work. And finally they got behind on their land taxes, and we were able to get them out. And then the Cherry family come in and bought it after it sat 4 or 5 years. And that's who owns it now.
And have they had any problems there?
Yes. That's now they got all your paranormal researchers, reality TV. I can't think of anybody that's not been on TV doing those shows that hasn't been there. The cemetery, the city cemetery, is the same way. It's much friendlier though. It's not. I've had a gentleman there that was scaring kids at night. They were coming in there, and he was dead. And his cemetery headstone glows on certain nights. And so I had while I was a law enforcement officer, I got a hold of a local monument company to come check it out, and they couldn't explain what was causing the glowing of it either.
That's eerie. That is eerie.
But
Tennessee and Kentucky seems to be full of that paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
Ghost and all that.
Where Jessica was at in the Whitleyville community, about every house down through there is old 2-story plantation homes that are full of antiques and stuff, and nothing's ever been done with them. The families are not sold them or anything. You can walk into them now and they're like they were in the 20s.
No kidding.
And it's spooky. I mean, they had a deer hunting club out of Knoxville that rented and leased some land on one of those farms and was going to use one of the houses to stay into, but they couldn't stay in it overnight, and they were run out. They still lease the property, but they got campers that hooked up there, and they won't go in the house. The house is kept locked off.
Jeez.
And then
you can have all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I don't mess with ghost stuff.
And right down from it, a young couple got married and moved into a house there. When they come back from their honeymoon, they stayed there, and they got run out that night. No clothes on or nothing. We didn't even able to get their car keys and run down the road until somebody come down the road and met them and give them a ride to their house where they could call their family to come get them. And that house sat empty for 30-something years, and it's real close to the road, and the trees and stuff growed up, and you couldn't even see the house. Well, here recently, a real estate company has went in there and cleaned out the yard and everything up where you could see the house, and just put it up for sale. I'm wondering if they're going to tell the new owners about why nobody's been able to live there for 30-something years. Yeah. Nobody's ever lasted a night in that house that rented it. So they either got drug out of it.
Out here. Oh, it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, that house should come with a warning label, some kind of warning sign or something.
Well, in California, you must say, the realtor must say, hey, this person died in the house and has been known to frequent. they have to tell you that by law now. So it's
Hmm.
like,
Oh, really?
oh yeah, you have to make it well aware before the people buy the house or thinking about buying the house. You have to mention it, otherwise you'll be buying that on buying that house for yourself. But
There's
yeah,
another house up from it that the chief deputy of Jackson County lived in, and it was an every night ordeal there. And he had to move out of it. I mean, he was calling his own deputies in to help him out just to get out of the house. Things would pin him against the wall. Cabinets would open. You know, the dishes flying. He had a fireplace in there with a poker. He'd got beaten with that poker several times, but nobody was holding it.
jeez,
Ooh.
that's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary. Wow.
And
Well,
there's
you
no cell phone service in there whatsoever. So if you ain't got a landline, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, we experienced that. Yeah, I was wondering, Bruce, how far away is Whitleyville from where the Bell Witch Cave is?
Bell Witch over there.
The Bell Witch Cave is a pretty good distance from there, but there's a cave there that's about 4 miles from there that's more famous than the Bell Witch Cave. It's just they put a lid on it. And it's called the Leonard Cave. The Leonard Cave. You can look it up. And it's more famous than the Bell Witch. It's just that the county that it's in and the people that it's in kept it quiet and put a lid on it. And the landowners won't let anybody on the property to go to it. But it's called the Leonard Cave. And there were a lot of wild things went on there.
The whole area out there is really just kind of eerie. I thought it was a lot of weirdos and stuff. People are dealing with a lot of stuff like that back here, but I mean, all the history and everything you guys have had on that land for for so long, it's no wonder, you know.
The whole area is built under a cave system. There's hundreds of miles of caves under the ground there. They go everywhere. Even on the farm that I own.
Kentucky, yeah.
Yeah.
The farm that I own up there, half of my farm sits in the city limits of Red Bull and Springs. And the other half of it sits in Macon County, the county. And I have 2 wells there and 2 springs. I can drop a well bucket down in my wells, and the swiftness of the water in those caves will take my well bucket down, and then I have to fish it back up to the hole and work it through the hole to pull it back up. And then right in downtown Red Bull, which is about 150 to 200 yards from my place, is a giant cave that when I was a law enforcement officer, we had to have that sealed off because of somebody built a house next to the cave, and everybody that moved in that house were unalived. They were either strangled to death or autopsies, natural causes, no matter what age.
Oh my God. That's terrible.
It just seemed like it so much. Well, I thought it was so much worse out here, but it seems like there's more haunted homes and stuff out where you guys are.
Well, Red Bull and Springs. Red Bull and Springs and Whitleyville was all Native American territory. And it had a lot to do. Red Bull and Springs areas was originally named, before it became Red Bull and Springs, was known as the Indians of Salt Lick. That's where their main hunting grounds were. The Whitleyville area was 4 different native tribes used that area for Indian mounds. It was a sacred area. So you had the Choctaw, the Cherokee, the Creek, and the Shoshone, all in that area. And some of them used the same burial grounds, they just layered it.
So
So
those mounds weren't built. I don't know. I guess I think you had said from the bottom to the top, it was just
be
layered,
different
like you had
tribes
said.
over the years, 2, 3, 4, 500 years. You started out with the Mississippians culture, the woodland culture, and then you went into the giant culture, which we consider as the Bigfoot culture. And then you had on top of that mound, maybe the Choctaw come in there and took it away from the Shawnee, and they used those same mounds and just kept piling bodies and layering it. And each had their own spiritual guards that they would have watch the mounds. So if you cross those mounds and stuff and disrespected anything, there's a good chance you'd be unalived by something unnatural.
It's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Uh,
What was that, Larry?
That's like Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio. There are more Native American burial grounds in them states than anywhere in the Midwest.
Well,
Just those top
we
ones.
have we have people here, and then back in the late 70s, we had one of the original Indian chiefs that was still alive that carried them stories down, and he didn't die until like I think 1989. And
Wow.
when I talked to him, he was telling me about Buffalo Valley and all the way through into from Putnam County into Jackson County, into Macon County, and across to the Warriors Path. About millions of buffalo roam through there. So along those hillsides and stuff, the warriors and people that died, they buried them in those mounds, and they used animal hides to create these spirits, what a lot of people call shift shapers. And he told me of places that, I mean, this was an old man. He was in his 90s, and he was a Cherokee. And he told me of places that I went to, and what he said was there was exactly there. I found the caves. I found places in the caves to look for that he told me to look for the lithographs, everything. And then he told me that the biggest buffalo in the world was killed in Buffalo Valley, Tennessee. That's how it's got its name.
Really?
And so, years later, a couple of years ago, I looked it up, and sure enough, he was right. The biggest buffalo in the world was killed in Buffalo Valley, Tennessee.
Jeez. Oh. Yeah, it's weird. Just up the street from me is where the last biggest grizzly bear is. It's like 20 minutes up the street.
Yeah.
And Black Star Canyon with all the craziness that goes there too. So, but yeah, no, these ancient areas too. You learn more about them as over the years. I guess it's that they just keep going down through the layers of. But yeah,
a lot of those places here, Whitleyville, Red Bowling Springs, there's a lot of farmland in between these cities, and it's never been fully developed. So I can just imagine when the growth we're starting to have here in Tennessee, when they start developing these areas, what they're going to find and what they're going to unleash.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I had done some research on some of the places I used to go when I was a kid out of Tennessee. And there's a place called Norris Lake, or Lake, I call it Lake Norris. But Norris Lake is up near, I think it's north of Knoxville, it's somewhere near Knoxville, I think.
Right.
But we used to go there, and I started doing my research on these man-made lakes all over the South. And of course, there's man-made lakes all over the world, okay? But I was just kind of focused on the South because I started finding newspaper articles about old Indian burial mounds. I think I was doing some research on like giant bones and skeletons that were found in some of these old Indian burial mounds. But I came across something really interesting about a Lake Norris. So newspaper clippings of the Historical Society and the local college out there, where they had excavated 23 Indian burial mounds and found an ancient Egyptian temple. And they covered it all up under Lake Norris. So I started digging. I was like, I started finding that there's, a lot of communities, a lot of towns, a lot of our history, some very ancient history that changes the entire outlook of our nation's history, honestly. Before 1776, of course. But I'm saying, like, ancient history is not what we've been told over here. And these man-made lakes are a very convenient way to cover all that up.
Exactly.
And there will be a link to all the cryptid activities. That's the reason I was bringing that up, because we talk about these cryptids being summoned out there to protect us Indian burial mounds and all the sacred grounds. But what's under those lakes?
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
Appalachian Mountain Range. The Appalachian Mountain Range is the oldest mountain range in the world.
Yep.
Okay. All right. The ancient peoples and the natives from the Mississippians passed by word down. You can go to the eastern band of the Cherokee, and if they will talk to you, you can get them to tell you about that the pyramids here were bigger than the ones in Egypt.
Yeah.
And it's all covered up with water now. Because some of those mountain ranges was over a mile, 2 miles deep. So that water's a mile, 2 miles deep. And those pyramids are underground. And there's a spot in Percy Priest Lake right outside of Nashville that you're in 175 feet of water. And if you're not real careful, you'll run into the top of a pyramid mound that's made out of rock. It sits in about 2 foot of water. So you really have to watch what you're doing.
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, no, I've heard a lot of California's movie out there too, where you guys are at. So hate to say that to you, but every once in a while I'll catch on somebody's podcast. Oh yeah, the Californians are out here now. And I'm like, yeah, well, we had to deal with them, now it's your guys's. But no,
like Jessica said, though, all them man-made lakes, hard telling how many burial grounds got covered up with that.
Yeah.
There was
because back then they didn't keep records, and wow. Yeah.
I think Jessica, there's over, there's over 300, maybe 400 in land between the lakes alone. Cemeteries.
That's what Mike was telling us.
That's what Martin Groves accounted. He said he's got at least 400 that he's documented himself. Now, I never in my life. I mean, like I said, I was just there last weekend. I just got home on Sunday night from the LBO, and we had some intent. Every time I go, we have very intense encounters out there. And the last month when I was there, we had set up our camp at the base of an Indian burial mound, a huge one. And there were some other hills behind us, and on the other side of us was the lake. We're in a bay. We're in the middle of nowhere. There's nobody else out there. Well, there was a man that was camping out with his daughters, and but down the way from us. And about 2 o'clock in the morning, I was still awake, and me and my friend Matt were awake. Matt's a big dude. Call him my security guard whenever I go out there with him. But you met him, Bruce. Me and Bruce got to hang out last weekend, y'all, up in Kentucky. But that was wonderful, Bruce. It was so good to meet you. But man, thank you. We'll have to go. I can't wait to get out in the woods sometime, go exploring.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but Matt and I got ambushed by invisible entities that sounded like Bigfoots. Chasing I'm not going to say chasing us, because we didn't run. We actually jumped up. There were multiple beings, like heavy footed beings that weren't showing up in our thermal, in our night vision. And they were standing within 10, 15 feet in front of us and throwing rocks at us and pushing Martin's truck. We were watching his truck move. They were pushing our vehicles and stuff, but they came running down those Indian burial mounds and surrounded us for over an hour and a half. Me and Matt stood back to back for at least an hour, and it didn't stop pelting rocks and stuff at us for an hour and a half.
Wow.
So it was wild. That was at the LBL. And we still
wow.
don't know exactly what that was. I think they were Bigfoot. It could have been anything. I don't know. It was scary. I can't lie. It was a little scary.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
bluff
it's
charging
fun.
is.
We got
Could
bluff
have been
charging. It
angry
never
spirits,
stopped.
maybe. And
It was-
Bigfoot.
It could have absolutely. I mean, that's what the feeling that we were getting at first. I thought it was Bigfoot at first, and I thought it was kind of cool. But then when they started running at us and they didn't stop, me and him both jumped up and we got back to back up against a tree on the other side of the campfire. And our friends Barton Nunley and his wife, they were in a tent. They were sleeping. They were getting hands like brushing against their tents and stuff. Matt had a hand brushing against his tent. We were hearing there's a tree knock on top of that burial mound after we finally turned in. I should have gone to bed early, y'all, but no, I was there for that. But if I
blame
just
you
gone to
there.
bed when everybody else went to bed, all that wouldn't happen. But I wanted that to happen. As weird as that sounds, I was there for
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it was. I got more than I bargained for, but it was fun.
Yeah, it sounds like
That's what you went
we're going to
for.
be doing a
That's
documentary
right.
out there in the LBL in November, the week prior to
Yeah.
Crypticon, which is now in Indiana. And so
Yeah.
past couple
Oh
of years
man.
I've been going to the one in Lexington, so it's been like, oh, I know where everything's at, and now it's like I don't even know where to start. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
It's about 3.5 hours east of me from where I'm
Yeah.
at in Indiana. So
well,
you
as far
actually
as I know, I
cross
got all
Ohio
Chafin's going.
once to get there.
Yeah. Well, then the documentary we did off in the Daniel Boone last November, there wasn't enough footage to even make anything because all my cameras died, my GoPros, everything. And so we had to use both our phones, and it was not even close enough to to make like a 15-minute movie. So, but we're gonna try the LBL, meet Daryl and them down there this year, November. So, and you
Very
guys
nice.
are all welcome to come too.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm definitely heading back to LBL soon, and I just want to warn you: take plenty of batteries, and expect all your equipment to malfunction the whole time you're there. Just
That's what
expect
killed
it.
us in the Daniel Boone.
Yeah, just expect it. Actually, when we got ambushed by whatever was running down those hills behind us, they were coming from two different directions, and I didn't have anything. I mean, we were just we were laughing and having fun and just talking and joking about a show I had done. And it was just really funny, and they just literally ambushed us is what it felt like. And so I needed to go get something like a weapon or something. I needed something to protect myself. I needed my night vision camera, whatever. It was all in my truck. And so I kind of, as soon as I had my wits about me and I sat there for a minute and I realized that whatever this wasn't going to stop, they was trying to discombobulate us. It was trying to get a gauge on it was trying to scare us, I guess, obviously. And so me and Matt were standing our ground, but we certainly didn't want our backs to all that. So like I said, we were behind that tree and we were back to back. We're in front of the tree actually. But when I realized, I need to go get something, I need a knife or something. Okay. I gotta have something.
Yeah.
And so I kind of did this weird little sidestep over to my truck because I felt like all the action was on the other side of the campfire, even though little did I know they were behind me too, of course. But right when I got over to my truck, right when I put my hand out for the doorknob to open up the truck, one of them threw a rock and it landed in the lake right in front of my truck. It was like a kaboom, right when I got to my truck. And so I just opened up my door and I scrambled and got what I needed. And I kind of leapt back over to the campfire by Matt after that. And I turned on my night vision camera. It was fully charged. I had just gotten there that day and I had all my equipment charged and stuff. That thing would not focus at all. It would not focus. And no matter how much, no matter where I was, pointing it, whatever, it just wouldn't focus. And I don't know if it's because whatever it was like I think it was just messing with my camera. And I was even trying to look up in the trees because we just didn't know. We couldn't see what was attacking us. We did not know. We could not see it. We could hear it. We could feel it. And but we couldn't see it. I mean, it was literally feet in front of us. We couldn't see it. But my camera eventually, the power just went out on it. I mean, the power just died. It drained all the battery out of it. I did get a couple of minutes of being able to look through it, and there was nothing. I couldn't see anything. So
that'd be
I don't know.
scary. And it's how dark it is out there.
We call it darker than dark.
Yeah. Jeez,
yeah,
that's
it's
crazy.
really. Yeah, it's an experience. I don't recommend it for people who are not seasoned professionals.
Yeah,
you want to call it that.
You have to be seasoned out there, from what I hear.
Yeah, you got it. You'll get seasoned when you go out there. Okay, so
Yep.
You'll get seasoned.
Well, we
Spicy.
did the Daniel Boone. Me and Paul Chafin were out there, and it was just totally relaxing and calm. And he was a little more on edge than I was, but he's seen a lot more than I have too. So, but I'm looking forward to it. That's usually my only vacation anymore. So I'll be out there in November. So yeah, we got more new people. So the TV and Love Lakes. Yeah. Cemeteries too, homesteads, graveyards. Just scary. And it looks like this person knows you.
Oh yeah, what's up, y'all? I was posting the show in my social media while we were sitting here a while ago. I was trying to bring some people over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and trust me, we would love to have you on and just get a chance to talk normally. No offense, Bruce, but I'm just kidding. But I don't know, you guys, where are you at? You guys want to stay on, or you guys?
Well, Jessica's got a show. I don't know what time it is.
Oh shoot, that's right. I forgot about that.
I personally I can't stick around too long because I've got to be on Space Out Radio tonight. So I am Dave Scott's guest tonight.
No worries.
Yeah.
Totally
I'd love to come back sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. We'd love to have you.
Love to have you.
Apparently, more people are showing up now. Robin Ray.
Hey, Robin.
Oh, it must be the same Robinson. Oh, okay, it is. So, anyways, thank you guys for being on. I mean, gosh, it went from we've got 4 people tonight to gone. So, thank you for coming by, Jessica, Cryptid Huntress. Been wanting to have you on for a while. It's just one of those timing things. It's weird. So, and this next week we're gonna have Roger Williams, and then I have a special we're doing for you, with Ian Woods too from the UK. So he's just in that new documentary when wolves stand up or stand upright. What was that, Larry? Do you remember?
Ian.
Yeah, the one with Ian.
Yeah, you had it right. When wolves stand up.
When wolves stand up.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah,
I haven't got a chance to watch it yet, but
yeah, well, yeah, because he's gonna be on Sunday, and then we're gonna release it on Tuesday. So, but anyways, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it, and we'll definitely.
Thanks, Jessica. Thanks, Bruce.
Yeah, thank you all.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Jessica. I owe you one.
Oh no, anytime, y'all. Anytime I can.
Thank
y'all for having me.
You have a good one.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right. See y'all.
Out of here.
Good luck with your show, Jess.
Thank you. Y'all come see me. Y'all come see me if you're still up at midnight.
Yeah,
I'll be watching.
Yeah, I'll be watching you tonight. Yeah, I'll be on there. Yeah.
I'll give y'all a
Thank
shout
you.
out. Okay.
All right.
Where can we get I mean, we know how to get a hold of you, but if somebody in the chat, what is all your? I think you had 3 accounts on Facebook. That was
Oh my gosh.
the
I have 2.
That's why I kept sending them out. I'm like, okay.
Yes, I have 2, and I'm terrible about checking messages, y'all, because I get a lot of them, and so I give up sometimes. And but it's but you can find me at thecryptidhuntress.com. That's my website, and I have a YouTube channel. It's called The Cryptid Huntress, and I do live shows every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I have shows, daytime and nighttime shows, and it's a lot of fun. I'm just over there just goofing off and having fun and trying to solve all these mysteries in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about
right.
Bigfoot and Dogman. Yes.
And
Yeah. Just having
I
fun.
think I'm Drewski this week too, and you know Drewski.
He was with us at Whitleyville, actually. You can ask him about that.
I forgot that you guys
Yeah.
were on confessionals. That's how you guys knew
Yes.
each other. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've done
him at Crypticon. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, we've done several investigations together. Yes, he was. That was the first investigation that we did together. Was Whitleyville at the Skinwalker Cave.
Gosh, that would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him on this show several times.
Good guy. Anyways, guys, I'll let you go. I know it's getting late. And have a good night and a good show, Jessica. And
thank you.
We'll promote you out here.
All right,
So.
yeah. Wonderful.
So. All right, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
y'all
you.
have a great night.
Thanks, Bruce.
All right, y'all too. Good night.
Bye.
Good night, Bruce.
All right, good night,
Jessica.
yeah.